feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my peers subscribers, welcome back. So for today's video, we are going to be specifically focused on healthcare and everything that goes on within the healthcare system. So I created all the question about probably 10 days ago, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm covering, but if you are interested in what I am covering in today's video, definitely check the description below in the comment section. I do have everything timestamped already. So this is going to be a really interesting video. It's going to have a multitude of different questions put in one so that I can answer all your questions instead of making small little mini clips. You guys can get it all in one big video. This is going to be very small, about I'm aiming for about 20 minutes. These questions are going to get at least 5 minutes or less. So that is the main goal of today's video. We will not be covering monkeypox. I think that needs a little bit more appropriate attention. So we'll be giving a separate video of its own. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. This is being recorded on August 3rd, 2022 at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're interested, this is indeed August 3rd, and it is at 3:17 p.m. And here are the current news cycle on Google, in case you want some sort of proof that I am recording on the date I say I am. Anyway, here are some quick disclaimers on your screen right now. Feel free to read them on your own time. This video, again, is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. And here are some other disclaimers in case you want to read them on your own time. Okay, again, everything, like I said, is in the description below and is timestamped. So, for the first question that we have here is the United States healthcare system overall. How is it doing? Let's take a look. Spirit Angels, tell me, what is the future of the American healthcare system? I know I said in the past, about 2 years ago, that the United States was heading toward a more universal healthcare system. So let's take a look at that. Spirit Angels, tell me, what does the United States healthcare system look like in the future? Gotta turn up the brightness. Okay, that card came up before. Ooh. Okay. Man, oh god. Well, this is interesting. Let's just jump right into it. Again, like I said, 5 minutes or less. So we have here, the first card that we have here is reversed, is the 5 of Swords reversed. What this is kind of telling me is that the healthcare system in the United States is not yet done, and people are just willing to keep the system as it is, as long as it still benefits the small few that it currently benefits in. That is why that card is reversed. It's telling me here that it's not meant to collapse or change yet, because it is so benefiting a group of people who like the system the way it is and does not want to change that. We have here on the left side here is we have the 5 of Cups. 3 cups are down, but 2 are up. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of demographics that used to benefit from this healthcare system no longer benefit from it, but there are 2 cups standing, what tells me that at the expense of these groups and at the expense of death, these 2 people, these 2 groups, do not care because it does not affect them. And so they kind of in some way or some form are not empathetic, but they almost became like desensitized to the idea because it's so normal in our reality that it just brushed off as if it's not even like something that they should even focus or care about. We have here as well as we have the 6 of Swords reversed, and that is trouble, right? This is normally a card when it's upright. It says get moving out of troubled waters to smoother, calmer waters, but it's reversed. And what it is telling me here is that the healthcare system is still going to continue to struggle in the near future. I do see that for the healthcare system. I do feel like we're going to get hit with so many things that maybe the healthcare system becomes unreliable and people will go to other methods such as a holistic approach or other routines or some sort of underlying medical decision that they wouldn't have went to for to go to the hospital for, but now they have to resort to third-party ways to do it. For example, one of them could be abortions, right? I do see an end to a certain type of protection in the healthcare system, and it's not related to abortion. It is, but there's more coming. So we have here on the right side here is we have the three of storage. After that, enough is enough with the healthcare system. So we have the three of cups here. The number three, it seems to be very prominent in this reading, particularly when it comes to the healthcare system. You see, we have the three of storage down, we have the three cups down, and then we have the three of storage in the heart. And what this tells me is it has to do with the main heart system. Whatever created the foundation of a hospital system, the healthcare system in general, is being stabbed. And when it be stabbed, sometimes it's going to start bleeding. And that's what I'm seeing here, that there's going to be come to a point when enough is enough and the damage being done, that there needs to be an overhaul. There needs to be some sort of change. It's coming, but it's not here yet. The next card that comes out here is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'm counting correctly, it's the 8 of swords. And what it kind of tells me is that those people, like I said, are desensitized to the idea of the death toll, that they kind of don't care because it doesn't affect them directly. And that's what I'm seeing here, that people are kind of blinded by the fact that corruption and greed that is a miss within the healthcare system. We have here a lot of people are being denied the right to have proper healthcare, regardless of whether or not they can afford that or not. And this is also goes for the law instead, a law as well. So like the Supreme Court rulings and stuff like that, people are being denied the right to have proper healthcare because of someone else's own political opinion or someone else's own political reasoning. We have here in the end, though, we do have the Supreme Court justice, and I do see here the Supreme Court. I do see what this is hinting at is that a lot of people are going to die at the expense of the Supreme Court decisions. I do see coming in the future, though, that more people will be expected to die. Again, this is just for entertainment purposes only. More people will be expected to die due to the Supreme Court ruling. And I do see in the near future that this is also related to other things besides abortion. We have the chariot. Things in the healthcare system are going to start moving slowly, especially when it comes to EMTs and ambulances. I do feel like they're being underrepresented and underpaid, and so I would expect some sort of strike to be either held at emergency centers like with walk-in emergency like ER room, or like even like EMT going on strike. So there's gonna be a lower amount of workers in the healthcare system than there was probably back since 1980. Then we have here the two cards that signify the meaning of the future. We have the Three of Cups. Again, sat down, we have one cup coming, it's reversed here, and then we have greed. We have money and greed. At the expense of marginalized groups, we have greed at the helm, making the decisions of the people. Okay. The United States COVID-19 update. So we're going to take a quick look at that and see how the energy is going into the COVID-19 update. I apologize, that took a little bit longer than necessary, but I think that was an overall needed to be able to understand the current situation of the healthcare system. Okay, Spirit Angels, tell me, please give me 3 cards for the COVID-19 update. How is COVID-19 in the near future when it comes to healthcare within the United States and in the United States specifically? How is COVID in the United States specifically? Okay. So for COVID, this is what I see. I see in the past, COVID was able to be the king ruler. It dominated our lives. It dominated the earth. It actually brought a lot of healing to Mother Nature, exactly what Mother Nature needed at this time. I also do see as well, though, is that it also brought a lot of empowerment towards women. As for COVID, though, with the other side effect of COVID, I do see that COVID during this time, during 2020, 2019, and 2021, was the strongest time periods for COVID-19. However, going into the end of 2022 onto 2023, I do see here that there is no victory either for COVID or for the the earth in general, for the nation of the United States against the fight against COVID. I do see vaccines, not some vaccines. Now, please keep in mind, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is what I see in the cards, guys. Please do not, know what, don't, if you're gonna comment something just because I see in the cards you don't like what I see, just don't comment it. That's what I'm gonna say. The Ace of Swords reverse, what I do see here in reverse here, I do see some vaccine becoming ineffective because there are new variants that will be coming out in the future that will kind of bypass the vaccines, making the vaccine at the point in time with that specific variant not usable. Like, it won't protect you from that new variant. It will protect you from other variants, but not the new one. And that's what I am seeing here. That it's kind of like almost like we created this variant because we didn't do the right thing, or we didn't stop it when it was coming. We let that thing go on, and now it's out of control. Now, as for the future of COVID-19, we have the Four of Swords reversed. Now, this is normally about a happy card and a lot of peace and prosperity in the home. It is reversed. And what I do see here, though, is that COVID is going to take a step back in the future. It's going to take a step back, and almost like it's going to almost feel like as if it just disappeared out of the blue. It just disappeared. But then it's going to come back with its homies, right? You see his homies in the background. These are just other people, there's other diseases, other variants like monkeypox, all that stuff. It's going to come back and it's going to say, you missed me. And then all these different viruses are going to start attacking people's immune system, almost like as if they planned this all at the same time. That is what it feels like. It almost feels like it's a plan. It almost feels like this is a very smart initiative. Again, this is what I'm just seeing in the cards here. We have the King of Swords. The King of Swords upright. I do feel like eventually, though, that there's going to be a president who's going to kind of deny the fact that this is occurring, that viruses and bacteria and fungi can all communicate with each other and be able to kind of like almost in some way create a unifying army against this host. And that's what I'm seeing here, that they're going to try to dismiss that information, at least the scientific realm might. But I do see that in the future. I do see that there's also going to be a leader here as well. There's going to be a leader who said that this is true, but there's also going to be a leader who said it is false. So you're going to kind of get the devil's advocate in this aspect. We do have in the future, though, we do see more funding, specifically for COVID-19 and other viruses. I do see specifically cancer and the heart heart attacks and stuff like that. I do see that in those two specific areas, cancer and heart, are going to get the most funding, at least sometime in the future. So that's directly related to COVID because it's one of the driving forces for COVID, or it might be one of the main things that makes COVID more easier to transmit. Okay, so the next question that we have here is Anthony Fauci, the chief medical advisor to the current president, President Biden. Will he retire? If so, will his replacement be appointed by a Democrat or Republican? So the first question that we're going to ask is, will he step down? Spiros and Angels tell me, will Anthony Fauci, the chief medical advisor to current President Biden, will he step down? Will he step down? Yes, he will. He will step down. So we have here in the future, though, he hasn't done a lot of good things, and this is what I see in the cards. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't like the information, just what I'm seeing in the cards. It's just trying to entertainment purposes only. We have the Six of Wands reverse. He hasn't done some good things in the past, and that was because of political reasons. But we kind of had forced his hand a little bit. However, what I do see here, though, is that those political motives, because he knows he's leaving, he does not care about his life, because he can do what he wants to be able to protect the people he can. Even though his name and reputation are a little bit shaken, he can still do what he always wanted to do, was to protect the people by avoiding them of certain things. And that's what I am seeing here. I am seeing that even though he's done some bad things in the past, it was not up to him. It was by force. We have here, though, we have the left card here, we have the Two of Cups. In the past, he wasn't comfortable with the idea of leaving his post or leaving his seat empty because he feared what the former president did, that he was afraid that if his seat was up, that he would be replaced by something that would provide false information to the public. And that was one of his main reasons for not letting to retire back in 2020, 2019. I actually saw he wanted to retire in 2018. That's what I'm seeing in the cards here. So we have here in the future, though, we have the Hanged Man reverse. There's going to come to a point in time where he's just going to say, enough is enough, I can't go forward. I do feel like it has to be with his age. I feel like it takes so much of a stress and toll on him that he just has to leave. It's either now or never. And that's what I am seeing in terms of his motive, is that he's like, it's either I do this until I die and have no life that I want to live beyond what I currently do, or step down and let someone else take my place and be replaced by someone who I want to replace me if I can. But that question is going to be answered in a moment. We do have here, it is followed by the Knight of Wands here. He will end up leaving. He will just doom out, like almost like he'll just leave the public and almost enjoy his life as if he's on retirement, which in this case he is. Okay, I do see him going on vacation. Like maybe like to Cancun or like some sort of tropical region in the Caribbean. All right, not that you need to know that. All right, so Spirit Angel, tell me about the Democrat or Republican. Who will replace Anthony Fauci's seat, the chief medical advisor to the president? Who will replace him? Will it be a Democrat or Republican? Okay. Want to keep going until we get a blue or red. Okay. We have a red reverse, red reverse, blue reverse, red upright. Okay, a Republican. It looks like a Republican, or it might be a conservative Democrat. One of them going to replace him. Okay, anyway, start the point. We have the 4, 5, 6, 7 of cups reversed. We're talking about whether or not a political president or what type of president is going to kind of in some way replace him. What I do see here, though, is not of importance to a lot of people. They don't really care whether he leaves or not. And that is what I'm seeing in the card here in particular. However, I do feel like in some way that his seat or his advisor or his cabinet seat to the president, there's some sort of change coming right after he leaves. There's something that changes within that statement. I feel like in some way it doesn't get replaced because there's no need for it. At least that's what we're being told. But it's almost like it's gone, like the seat is removed. We have the Page of Swords reversed, and that is on the left side here. What I'm seeing here is that in the end of whatever happened, I do feel that there won't be a replacement. That's what I'm seeing here. I don't see a replacement. There's no one who takes his spot. So it's like it's gone. Like the seat, it just disappeared. Like it's almost like it's removed. I don't know what that energy is like. If someone can explain to me why I feel that way, I would really love to know. But I don't see a replacement. At least maybe it's not removed. It's just left vacant. It's possible that happened. Okay. Let's see. Next question. We have here, how are the healthcare workers doing? Let's take a look. We're going to use this deck with the chakra. There's no better way to really know how the workers are feeling by reading their energy. How are the healthcare workers feeling, spirits and angels? How are the healthcare workers feeling, spirits and angels? Tell me. Give me their energy. What's their energy like? They told me that's it, so 3 cards. Okay, so we have the reverse freedom of choice. Right? This is the chakra, the solar plexus. This is all about I do, the confidence. Right? It's reverse. And what that is telling me here is that they feel like they're being pushed, they're being forced, that they are doing things that they're not comfortable doing, these workers. They are doing things that they're not even properly qualified for, and they're being pushed into the field and putting other people's lives at risk at the expense of the healthcare system. It's almost like in some way that the healthcare system is taking advantage of their own workers, right? In the middle card here, we have an inner knowing. It's that they know who and what they are and why they are there. They want to help people, and so they're not easily willing to walk away. But I am getting a sense here that there is a common understanding within the healthcare community, within the healthcare workers in the Pacific. I do see a union forming, maybe a massive world nationwide union, or even better yet, striking. I do feel like they're going to be demanding rights because they're being taken advantage of a system that took not only advantage of their own workers, but are equally taking advantage of their own patients. Right? And we have here the reason why they're going to go on strike or because of unions, because they are all about their self-worth and self-esteem. And that is upright. That is something that they understand. That is their inner knowing. They know their self-worth. They know their self-esteem. They know how much the healthcare system needs them. And so they have the upper ground here to ask for the thing that they need and want to be able to not only provide a sustainable lifestyle for them, but also be able to provide proper healthcare for all the patients who go there. And that is what I am seeing here, that they're fighting for a multitude of different things. And I think we also need to be on the side of the healthcare workers. On the reverse side here, at the bottom of that, we have the reverse heart chakra, which is all about this generosity, right? The heart chakra. They are not willing to give up their time for free. And that is what the healthcare system is asking from them. Again, I cannot verify whether that is true or not. That is where I've seen the cause. Again, like I do, I sometimes read blindly, but I am reading blindly, so I don't know if that is true. But I am seeing here that people are not willing to give up time for free labor in exchange to help people, and I think that is quite understanding. If you have a life, you have bills to pay, you cannot offer your services for free, and that's understandable for all reasons. If you are one of those people who understand that you cannot offer your labor for free, we completely understand you and we completely support you in that decision. And do not feel like you're guilty of anything. You are not liable for anybody once you clock out. You are not liable. It is the healthcare system that its main job is to provide that opportunity so that you get equally paid for no matter how long of overtime you are using. The next question that we are going to be asking is women in the healthcare update. Now, we talked about women earlier in the video, but we're going to get a little bit more specific and find out what is going on with women in general when it comes to the healthcare system and how are they feeling energetically. Spirit Angel, tell me, how are women doing in the healthcare system right now in the United States? Okay. How else are they doing? How else are women feeling in the healthcare system? Okay. Final card. How are they doing? And what's the future hold for them? What's the future hold for women? What does the future hold for women in the healthcare system? It also means patients and workers and doctors. One card, please, spirits and angels. Thank you. Okay, so for women in general, no matter who it is, we have the sacral chakra sideways. Right, that is a challenge. Right, creative manifestation. This is the sacral. Right, and this is what it's talking about. It means I feel like I have the ability to create. Excuse me. I have the ability, and I feel that I have the ability to create the life that I want. Be able to create the health that I need, the world that I desire. And that is your creative manifestation. It's a challenge because it isn't blocked for many people. It is blocked and it's prevented from doing that. If a lot of you guys are aware, though, the sacral chakra is in the stomach area, very similar to where women are giving birth to the child. Is very close to the root chakra. So this is also hinting at abortion in general. Right? In the left side here, we have the fourth chakra reversed, generosity, right? I assume I cannot pronounce it, but we have generosity. And what is again talking about is the heart. I feel like for a lot of women, they're struggling with the heart, whether that means heartbreak, whether that means they're heartbroken, they're scared of what's to come. I also do feel like as well, though, this is really hinting at the fact that they have to know in their heart that they won't be there for their child if they know that their health is at risk at the expense of their child being born. And that it is unfair to the mother as well that she won't be able to see that child grow up because of the system and what she brought them into. And that was one of the fears that I fear for a lot of women. And I do not speak on behalf of women, but I am speaking on the energies that are being felt among women. Right. And this is what I am seeing here, that they fear the fact that they're going to leave their child in a world unknown, the world that is unkind to them. And in some way or some form, I feel like they have a sense of regret that they don't want to bring their child into this world. We have here in the middle card here, it's being challenged by creative manifestation, which is grace, happiness, right? Grace, feeling grateful for the life that you will live in, right? It says here, the grace of a higher power is within me, and I move through life knowing this truth. I believe in the higher power, and I know that it is within me and around me, offering assistance and a guidance. I surrender all my fears and burden to the higher power. I'm open to receiving grace and trust in a higher power. I am worthy. And that is how women feels right now. They feel like they don't have that power. They feel like the power that they once had was stripped from them. But I feel strongly in some way or some form that women in general have given so much power to the government that dictated their life and what they can and cannot do, that one simple thing took away their power. And I think that what is being hinted here is that you still have your power. You have your power, so there's nothing taken away from you except the fact that you cannot have abortion. And this is what it's telling me here, is that you still have the right to get it back and get more for what you deserve. And that is what it's telling me here. It's telling me to tell you guys not to give up. In the right side here, we have the reverse third eye chakra, which is wisdom and discernment, right? It's understanding that this moment in time, what matters for you will be very predominantly determine the very future of your next child's generation. And that is why it is very key for women in general to really know where they are heading and what choices to make and what choices not to make. We won't really know where we're heading yet, but make sure you make the right choice and make sure on the right side of history. That is what I'm seeing in the card here for women. Okay, we have 3 more questions and we're done. Okay, so the next one we have here, gay men and racial group healthcare update. I wanted to add them two together. They're very similar in terms of what to call it, in terms of backlash. So I figured this would be a good group to match together. So Spiel Angels Tommy, gay men, and other racial groups, how are they doing in the healthcare system in the United States? What is the energy like, and what's the future hope for everybody? Final card. So this is just for racial groups. Okay, excuse me. They told me this is just for LGBTQ. LGBTQ. The next one's going to be for racial. Okay. All right, for racial groups, Spirit. Okay. We'll find out what's going on for the racial group in a minute. Okay, so we have the LGBT community. So how are they doing? So in terms of the healthcare, we have the courage and faith. They don't really have a lot of trust in the healthcare system or do what is right. This is the root chakra. This is the foundation. A lot of LGBT communities understand and know that the healthcare system will do anything to just the first group. And the first group that it will always ditch is gay people. Or I specifically chose gay men, but I really meant LGBT, everybody included in that community, including transgender. Right? What I'm seeing here is that the healthcare system will drop you. They do not care about you. The next card that is followed is the sixth chakra, the third eye, wisdom and discernment, doing what is right, taking the understanding, the history of the past, and knowing that how they were treated in the past is to walk lightly, walk in eggshells because they are willing to drop you. So people within the LGBT community are not dependent on the healthcare system. And that is very prevalent today. We have here in the future, though, is we have the solar plexus reverse, oneness and unity. For the future that I see for the healthcare system when it comes to the LGBT community is that there will be a separation. There will be a denial of medical treatment for the LGBT community, myself included. we have here is we have the two cards here. We have the first chakra, the fifth chakra, which is the first chakra. It's all about willpower and determination. That was reversed. And then we also have here as well is the another first chakra, which is setting boundaries. And what it is telling me here that these are setting false boundaries and determination and blaming people for the disease of what they did not even bring about. And when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about monkeypox. But I'm also talking about the long-term effect of it is that people in all aspects when it comes to the healthcare system, when it comes to LGBT community, will be denied the right to proper healthcare on the basis of who they love. And that is what I'm seeing here. Okay, let's do the racial group. Okay, there's a lot of root chakra and a lot of staple here for racial groups, right? So we have here the first card that came out with creative manifestation, right? This is a long-term thing that a lot of people within a lot of racial groups are working towards. They're working for healthcare. This is something that's been long going for the past, right? They've been fighting for this right for a long time, right? And they're bound to get it. The next thing we have here is right now we have instance, right? People within the healthcare community, especially within racial groups, understand that. And I do not speak for racial groups. I'm just reading what I see in the cards here. We have the first base, root chakra, which is all about the instant. They understand here that in order to be able to get the proper healthcare that you need to get it right away before it's taken away from you. So they will oftentimes take advantage of the healthcare system, and rightfully so, right? We have here is at the fourth chakra, generosity. They're not willing. Again, this comes up for a lot of groups, and I noticed that. Is that they kind of become desensitized to other groups. So when things go on a news cycle that, hey, someone else has lost their right to healthcare, they become so desensitized about the entire world because they're so used to being put down, being so let down, being abused in almost every aspect that they kind of become those desensitized where they're like, oh, they get what they deserve, or they just kind of turn a blind eye, not realizing that they're on the next one on the chopping block. And that's what it's telling me here, that it's almost like when you turn a blind eye, you don't realize how much you're going to lose. And that is what is coming here next. The next one is the sacral chakra, is sexuality. Right? This is talking about men and women. There's going to be some sort of separation within the racial groups among men and women in particular. We're going to start become dividing along gender lines on who agrees with what. It's also come to politics. I do see that they're going to start splitting. So maybe you may marry somebody and you might find out that they support something that you don't support. And so there's going to be some sort of divide among men and women within all racial lines. But I also see as well, there's also come to them kind of turning a blind eye toward the LGBT community. Like they kind of just turn a blind eye, not realizing they are next. So that's what I see for the racial groups. Now, next thing that we're going to look at is the fate of Obamacare and universal health care. So we're going to take a look at that. Hopefully this will give us some sort of hope. Okay, Spirit Angel, Tommy, what is the fate of Obamacare within the United States? Give me one card, or at least two. Okay. What is the fate of Obamacare, Spirit Angels? Thank you. Oh, that was quick. Okay, it won't be going away. Obama's here is here to stay for now. We have the reverse sacral chakra, which is the sexuality component. I do feel like when it comes to a political party, I think we all know what political party I'm speaking of. I do feel like they're going to be targeting gay people, particularly the LGBT community, when it comes to Obamacare and universal health care. They're going to be somehow, some way, saying that the LGBT community is taking advantage of the healthcare system, particularly when it comes to Obamacare. That might be a talking point in the future. We have here in the middle, we have self-confidence, right? We are confident that Obamacare is here to stay, right? The energy is there, it's useful, people want it, people need it. We have here in the third card here is we have mindfulness. It helps everybody. It is beneficial to all of us. Now, as for the bottom card here, we have the loving card reverse. Like I said, there's going to be a divide between racial lines, between men and women gender-wise, right? But I'm also seeing in terms of the Supreme Court decision, I see it's still on the side of the Democrats. Regardless of what it is, it's still side with the Democrats on this one specific issue. So is Obama here to stay? Yes. Okay, the next card that we're going to look at now is universal health care. Damn, I'm covering so much stuff in such a short time. Conspiracy angels, tell me, what is the fate of universal health care in the United States? Will we receive it? Will we ever achieve that? Will we ever achieve universal health care in the United States? No. At least not yet. We have the 7 crown chakra, selflessness. People in America, according to the tarot cards, are selfish. They're not willing to take care of or even give a crap about other people. No. I think that's self-explanatory. Okay, so the last one that we have here is any breaking news in the healthcare department. I see someone being rushed into a gurney with blood from the left shoulder, almost like this high figure, a high-profile figure, was shot or injured in some shape or form. So I've been feeling that for a long time now. Actually, when I was writing the question, that's what I saw. So I figured I'd enter this question in to find out who or what it is. Let's see. Will there be any sort of breaking news in the healthcare department from a high-profile figure that might be injured in the left shoulder with blood dripping and being rushed in a gurney into the ER room? Who was that? Why did I receive that? Okay, so this individual is not going to die. So whoever this is, they're not going to die. We do have here that they're almost like a celebrity, but they're kind of not a celebrity. It's like a way for a message to be sent out. We have the 2 of Wands reversed. So this is somebody within the domestic United States. This is not someone outside foreign. They could have foreign nationalities, but they are American born. We have here in the middle here, we have the healthcare card. Was it the temperance, balance, right? They're the message that is being sent in some form or some shape. Whatever this is, they're the message. It's not a political leader at the highest office. It might be, but it feels like in some ways a lower level politician or celebrity who was shot, and it kind of shocked the country, but not much. That people expected it to happen. Whoever this entity is, whoever this person is, they're kind of like, people are like, oh, shocking, but not surprising. That's what it kind of feels like. We have here the third card here is we have the death card. The reason why this person was shot or was injured in some way, again, this video is just for entertainment purposes only, is that they are not meant to die. Their intention was never to kill the person. It was more so than not to send a message to the individual and anybody else who was following that individual. That is the reverse card. It was his death. What we have here, this person loses leadership or power. The Ace of Wands reverse. The 3 of Wands here, which is my election night. So this person will not be running again. Right? They lose their strength and they are not an incumbent. They're not in the White House. They're not in Congress. They're not in the Senate. So they might be a celebrity, or was a celebrity, or is a celebrity. It could be even a royal family member. We do have here, we have the 10 of coins reverse. Whatever it is, it feels like someone is being hurt for some sort of motive, some sort of idea. Maybe they're expected to say something. Maybe they all witness and are trying to shut them up. Whatever it is, there are some sort of high-profile figure that is meant to release something, and because of that, they're injured in a way to kind of put them out and send a message to anybody else who dares to say anything. The question is who and what it is. But I do feel like I did see Prince Andrew. So again, this is videos just for entertainment purposes only. I love you guys. I hope you have a very beautiful night. I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll be uploading and filming a couple more videos. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.